And with that, I'll let you take it over, Liza.
Cool. Great. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. As Molly said, my name is Liza. I'm the Communications and Development Manager here at Mountain Start 365. And this is part of our business support programming we've been doing since November of last year. And we've done a couple of other workshops related to websites or other marketing related items. And Canva is something that's come up as a tool that people either use and want to know more about or haven't used yet. I use it a lot. I found it really, really helpful. And so I just thought I'd share what I know. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about the basics of Canva and talk about what it takes to set up and launch an account. And then I'm going to walk you through using the tool to create an Instagram post. And that is just because I found that that's what I use it for the most, but it also is a great way to demonstrate just kind of the basics of using the tool. And then we'll have some time for questions, as Molly said at the end. So what is Canva? Molly touched on this, but Canva is a graphic design and content creation tool. It has features that are pretty similar to things like Photoshop or Illustrator and some other more complex graphic design tools, but it's a lot easier to use, a lot lower entry point, lower barrier, I found. And it has different tiers for pricing, but its free option allows you to do a lot with the tool, whereas like Photoshop, you have to pay, a pretty high licensing fee to Adobe and, other things like that. So super low entry point, really quick to get set up. And you don't have to download any software to use it. You can just use it from your browser, which is great. And there's also an app version as well. And I just want to quickly pull up the different pricing plans. I'm not sure why it's not letting me do that, but let's see. So there's 3 different pricing options. And I'm just going to show you real quick. Can you see that, Molly? Or are you still looking at my presentation?
Nope, I can see the plans and pricing.
Cool. So as I said, Canva free is a great way to get started. I'd recommend if you don't already have an account, just to sign up and get a Canva free account. And just see what it offers and if it works for you and your needs. And if you have one, if today, I'm a learn by doing kind of person. So if you are too, then I'd recommend signing up for an account or opening your account if you have one, and then you can kind of follow along with me today. But as you can see, there's still a ton that you can do with the free account. And then moving up to pro and teams, there's obviously you get more, but as I said, there's so much you can do just with a free account. And if you are a educational institution or a nonprofit, then you can get a free pro account. That's what we have. I applied for that last year and it was pretty simple. I just submitted our tax form that says that we're a registered 501c3, and they approved it really quickly, I think within a day or two. So that is really helpful. Let me jump back. Okay. So as I said, if you don't have one, I recommend starting one, or if you just want to follow along with what I'm doing on the presentation, that's totally fine too. And definitely look into if you qualify for a free pro account, because that's really helpful. So these are some things you can do with Canva. It has a lot of tools and templates. As I mentioned, Instagram posts like this, there's Facebook posts, presentations like this presentation now was created through Canva. Infographics, you can even create things as simple as invoices or, like Word document sort of things, business cards, and there's really just kind of no end to what you can create. And there's also, you can use a template, but for, let's say, an Instagram post, but you can, if you want to make that like a flyer, you could do that too. It's not locked in. So there's a lot of flexibility within each of the templates. So as I mentioned, we're going to start with a example of using or creating an Instagram post. And apparently today is National Margarita Day, and it's a little early maybe to think about that, but I thought that would be a good way to use the tool and pretend like we're this fake restaurant that is running a special for margaritas. So let me go back to, so this is my Canva dashboard. It's pretty straightforward. It has my recent designs, and then it also has, it's really easy to launch into different templates from here. And then, you know, you can search up here, or, you know, sometimes I'm just like, I need to create something, but I'm not really sure what template or where I want to go. You can just type in different search terms and it'll guide you through. You can also organize your projects, or, you know, your different items you're working on over here. It makes it really simple. But today, since we're going to do an Instagram post, it has it right here. And what's nice is that for, you know, different things like social media, it will predetermine what the dimensions are that you need for that tool. So for Instagram, they usually require 1080 by 1080 pixels for the designs. And then so Canva just does that for you, which is really nice. You don't have to Google it or go back and forth. So the first, kind of the easiest way to get started would be to look at, to go through a template, and it loads that right up here. And they've got some, I think they usually organize these by some of their newer designs. And you can see as I'm scrolling, see this little crown image shows you if that's only available to pro accounts, which we happen to have. But if it doesn't have a crown, then you can use it with a free account. So you can see there's still a lot available without a little crown. So because it's National Margarita Day, and I did a little practicing, you'll see it's in my search term history, but here's all the different options that we can pull from. So many. And then just kind of look through, I think this one looks good. So I'm going to click on it, pop it over here. And then it has all these preloaded text boxes and images. And to edit them, all you have to do is just double click, and we'll say that. And to adjust the size of this, all you have to do, it's very similar to, you know, Word or some of these other word processing tools. You can decrease or increase the size here, and it will just do that. You can also adjust the size of the text box by just squishing it like that. But I think I'm going to keep it this size, and then see. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. So, I mean, this is really flexible. You can kind of do whatever you want within these text boxes. You can delete text boxes if you want. But we'll just say, for the sake of this very important holiday, we will put that there. And then our special is going to be $5 drinks from 5 to 6. And then we will have, I made up this fake business right here in Northeast Harbor. It's very exciting. And then, so yeah, that took me 2 minutes. It already has this personalized info. So if you're okay with that, you could download it. If you wanted, let's say we only want, like, we're kind of overwhelmed with these. Like, if you just want one, you can, I just hovered over it and it has a little delete button. And then there's different options you can do. If you want to move it back behind the wave, for some reason, you could do that. Again, very similar to Word, with how you can manage that. So that is doing it with a template, super easy. If we want to do something from scratch, you could start a new a new file, but I'm just, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do it within this file. So I just hit add page, and I want to, it pulled that yellow from this, but I want to change it to something a little more like limey. And what's great is that if you take, you can, it's really flexible with colors. So if so this is like kind of still a little bright. So if I click on it, it brings up the color palette here, and you'll see it pulls the colors that are already in the document. So you don't have to wonder what specific yellow or what green that is. It has it right there. Another great feature is that this is with a pro account, but you can upload, if you have a brand color palette like we do for MD365, you can pull that here. So if you just want to make something our MD365 orange or teal, you can do that really easily. But if even with a free account, you could just pop those colors in and it will save them, it's like colors you use a lot or recent colors. So you can do that pretty quickly. But let's say I want to make this a little different. So I can go here to add a new color. And you can either move the dial around a little bit, or if you have a specific color code, again, with like your brand, you can pop that in here. You can also use the color picking tool. So if you're, again, it's good about pulling it here, but if for some reason you just really want to dig in to a specific color you're not seeing in this palette, you can hit the color picker and it will just yank that specific color out, and then you can use it, which is great. So I'm going to do this green. It's a little more not as in your face. So I want to add our logo for Moonlight Lounge. So if we go to uploads, you can pull in all kinds of stuff here. That's our logo, obviously, but then there's pictures in here, a lot of pictures and logos, that kind of thing. But I'm going to upload our fake logo. And then I'm just going to pop it in here. And you'll see as I'm moving things around, what was like a godsend to me when I'm using Canva is these lines that pop up, so that I know that is perfectly centered, or once I put more elements in, you'll see, and again, you probably saw it when I was fooling around with this one, but they'll pop up and it will show the element you're playing with in relation to other elements in the design, which I find really helpful, especially when I have a lot going on and like, oh my God, is that crooked? It's really easy to fix. So got our logo in here, and now I want to add a cocktail glass. So they've got a ton of graphics and just like stock photos or other things that you might want to use, and that's all under elements. So we'll search, they have all these suggestions, all these, different categories, which are great. Again, if you're not really sure what you want, or you're like, I know I want a photo, but I just want to see what they have, you can do that here. So we want margarita. And see, again, it organizes by graphics, photos, videos, even audio. I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to use that here, but certainly can. So we just want a basic graphic. So I'm going to hit see all. And again, all kinds of options. See, the little crown is up for some of them, but so many of them are just, you can just grab. I think I'm going to grab this one, even though it's pro only, but and I'm going to make the logo the little lime on the glass. So, but I want it to be facing the other direction. So I'm going to see how this glass is highlighted. And I'm going to go up here and hit flip. And I'm going to flip it horizontal so I can have the lime facing that way. And again, see those super helpful purple lines pop up. And I want that to look like the lime, have it a little off center. See, when I hover over, the little the little arrows pop up so I can adjust the position on the page. And it's behind, so we want to pull it to the front. This is what I did earlier. In the other example, you hit more. And then we do bring forward, and then look at that, it's covering up the line. So now I want to add some text. So I go over here to the left, hit text, and it pulls up again. You can, if you have font that's specific to your brand, you can pull that in here. But we don't really have any, so I'm just gonna take a look. You've got different, just basic, you can add like a big text box and then it goes down in size from here. But then they have these kind of fun font combinations that you can pull in if you want to add a little something extra. So I'm just going to add a basic heading and pull it up here. And then again, like I did earlier, I'm just going to stretch the text to fit a little better. And you also can adjust, like I want this to align more to the left. So again, similar with Word, you can go up here and hit alignment and it will move. You can have it left, right, center, wherever you'd like it. So I'm going to do that. And I want to change the font. I'm not a big fan of that font. So I'm just going to pull, that's a little more fun. But again, there's so many, I mean, just more than your heart could desire, lots and lots. And, you know, again, it's good about showing like what you can use as a pro user or just for free. If you do have a font, like I know for MD365 ours is Laura for headings. So you can type that in. And there it is. I can just pull that and pop it in there if I want to stay on brand. But for this, for Moonlight Lounge, we're playing it fast and loose. We don't really care. So we just want it to look fun. So I want a little more, I want this to be the same size and font. So I'm just going to copy this and then I'm going to paste, pop this down, and then say, do that again. This is really, I'm just throwing this up here, but it's a little sloppy, but just want to show how quickly you can do either of these options. So we can add more text if we want, but just for the sake of time, I'm just going to download this. So to get this to your chosen social media or chosen platform that you want to share this with your audience, you've got a couple different options. I'm going to delete this one right now and just focus on this one for the sharing. You can go up here and this share button is where all that happens. So you can share it directly from this page. You can download it. And it has PNG, you know, has different options, which is great. And it will do this nice thing where it suggests, you know, what it would recommend for this particular file type. So it suggests PNG. You want to do JPEG, you can. If you want to do PDF, MP4, GIF, there's all kinds of options here. But for this, we're going to do PNG. The size is already determined by the Instagram size constraints, but you can certainly, if you wanted to, you could move that dial up and down and make it whatever size you want. And then transparent background is helpful. You can do that if you want, like if you're saving just a logo and you don't want the, you know, like the Moonlight Lounge logo was round. But so if we don't want the background to show up, if we're bringing it into another place, then you can save it as transparent. If you want to compress the file, you certainly can do that. And then we just hit download. And then you can share it however you normally share an image onto social media. The other way you could do it is you could do it from the app. And this is what I love doing for Instagram, because Instagram won't let you post from your computer and you can't pull Instagram up on Chrome and post from there. It has to be done from the mobile app. So the Canva app is free and it looks really, really similar to the dashboard we were just in. And if we pop over, it just shows recent designs. I need to refresh it because it's not showing the one we just worked on. But so there it is. You can just, again, if I tap on it, I won't show it because I know it's really tiny for you guys, but you can tap on it. It'll prompt you similar to how it just did on Chrome. And then it'll be saved as an image file in your phone. And then you can upload that to Instagram. And that is typically what I do. But the third option is recently they have added a feature where you can connect your social accounts to your Canva account and then share directly from Canva, which is great. I haven't personally tried that yet. I think it's still fairly new. But based on my other experiences with Canva, it should be pretty straightforward and smooth. So I'd recommend giving that a try if you want. And that would just be done here. And this is separate from sharing on social or other web-based programs, but if you want to print your design, Canva has an in-house printing, they print in-house. And so you can get pretty much anything you want printed and mailed to you. So business cards, stickers, posters, t-shirts, tote bags, again, all kinds of things. You can just kind of browse here and see what they have. Water bottles. I've worked with a freelancing client in the past who had business cards printed from here, and we had a great experience. We designed the business card. There's a template for that, and we designed that, and then just clicked rounded business cards, and then it just prompted us. We were able to pay. It was really reasonably priced, and I think it was like $20 for 100 or something like that, including shipping. And she got the business cards within like a week or two. So that was super helpful. I don't know, again, for more complex things like stickers or t-shirts, but for business cards, it was really, really straightforward and helpful. So that is how you would build something in Canva. Let me go back to my presentation. I saw the chat. There's a couple of things. Did anyone have any questions about this section, Molly? No.
And we just got one question about how Canva knew that you were going to share it to Instagram, and I just commented back that it was because you had chosen specifically an Instagram post template when you started, but that there are templates available for all the different social media channels.
Yeah.
And actually, Rodney just added that you can now share to Instagram from Chrome desktop.
Oh, great. There you go. I did not.
That's awesome.
That's great to know. Yeah, and you can, I know you can do it through like the Meta Business Suite. I do that sometimes when I'm posting like the same thing on Facebook and Instagram, but that's great to know that you can just do it from Instagram. Thanks, Rodney. Great. So let me get back to my presentation. So, beyond just that, basic creating something for social media or any other platform, pretty much. There's some great collaboration tools within Canva. So Molly and I sometimes, if I'm creating something, I just want her to give it another look. I can send her a link to that. And you might have seen that when I was in the share section within Canva. And I could send a link similar to, like Google Docs or Dropbox. You can send people links to files, and you can have it set as view only, edit and comment, or edit, or they can edit the actual document itself. So there's a lot of flexibility there, and you don't have to have a Canva account, as far as I know, to be able to view that. And you can create a team within Canva. So if you're doing a lot of this stuff and you need a lot of eyes on it on a regular basis, that might be a good option. But we found just with the two of us that it's just, I can just sending a link suffices. So, and again, as I already got ahead of myself, I mentioned the sending items to print. That option is really, really helpful.
Eliza, can I pop in
Yeah.
with a question?
Yes.
Could you show, is it convenient to show how you would upload your own images rather than choosing from the stock and pre-provided images there?
Yep. So I'll go back. So it's like how I did the logo, and I'll go back and do that process. So it's over here in the upload section. And then you hit this big purple button and it defaulted to my computer, but and I don't know if that, I think when we were trying this yesterday, it didn't show the download button or the my file organization on my computer, but just know that it does pop up. But if you click here on these three dots, it says upload. You can, if it's linked to your Facebook, you can pull it from Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, or Dropbox. But most of my photos are just on my computer. So I would hit upload. And is that showing, Molly, the pop-up?
Yep, it sure is.
Oh, it is. Okay, great. So I want to grab this photo. I mean, you can, however you have your files organized, it should show up. But if I want to grab this photo of the construction happening in front of our building, I could do that and then just hit open. And I found usually like I can upload really large photos and it doesn't give me a hard time. I know some programs, will say, oh, this is a really big file. So far, I don't think I've hit any of those barriers, which is really nice. So then if we want to use this photo in this file that we're creating, you can just click on it and it just pops it right in. And then you can move it around as we did with the text box. And that's super flexible. So you can, and then within that photo, you can do that flip like I did with the margarita glass. Let's see how it does with the photo. That's interesting. It's like Northeast Harbor in reverse. Can flip vertical too. Whoa. But we'll just put it back to normal. You can also crop the image within Canva, which is nice. So you can, if like we just want to crop out the traffic cones, you can do that and hit done. And then it's a nice little cropped picture. I think those are all the photo features. And again, just when in doubt, click on these three dots. And that should give you, if you're looking for more options, that should provide some more options. So you can move it all around. If you want to copy it, you can duplicate it. If you want two of it. But yeah, so hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it would be really useful for people like Florette or any of you that sell a product. You could feature your own merchandise in a post, which is always great for exposure and getting your wares out there.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Any other questions? We also, we have, like I said, we have time for questions. But yeah, if anyone wants to go over any specific feature or has any questions about accounts, getting set up, happy to answer those. In the meantime, too, if you're formulating those questions, our next installment of this program is going to be in March. We have it's going to be focused on accounting and bookkeeping, and we're hoping to have Louise Susi from Susi Accounting here on MDI join us. And we're not sure of an exact date. We're meeting with her this week to determine that, but it'll probably be the end of March, close to the end of March. We've kind of been hovering towards the end of the month for these programs. So as soon as that is nailed down and we have sign up information, we will be sending out that info to you in the same way that we've been sharing these other ones, through that email list, through our newsletter, through social media. So stay tuned for that. And then in April, we're going to have a series wrap up for just everyone who's participated in this, and just kind of a casual gathering here at our offices at 6 Old Firehouse Lane, and just to talk about what worked, what didn't work, what you'd like to see for next year. And yeah.
Well, we did have a question about the option that it offers to animate.
Mm,
Is that one you've dug into before?
not as much, but let's take a look and see. Um, I'm gonna delete one of these. I'm just gonna move this because this is. Right. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. So I have done that. So when in the presentation, a couple slides back, when I was showing the different templates, it just, and I don't know if you've noticed, but some of the templates sort of flew into the slide. So that I did animate those. So, but yeah, you can do that for any of these. I believe though, if you wanted this to show up in Instagram or Facebook, you'd want to save it as an MP4 file, I believe. So then you could capture that movement, because otherwise it would just show as a static image. So let's say we want this one to kind of appear like that. That's a little slow. We'll do fade. There we go. So if we want that to fade, and then you can, this is similar to like PowerPoint, you know, how you can have images come in on different slides. So you can have it when you on enter, on exit, or both, it can come in and out, and then you can adjust the speed. And then there's different, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. So if we want, let's test that out. I'm just going to delete this. And if we, oh yeah, so you can preview it, which is great. So you can see what it would look like out in the wild. And if you, let's hit share and just see what happens. Yep. Okay. So because it has that animated element, it did suggest an MP4 video. So we can download that. And then when you upload it to Instagram, it should recognize that it's a video file technically because of the moving element. And then it'll treat it as such. So it's a little slow just because it is a video file. So, but yeah, that's how you do that.
Thank you. Anybody else? We have lots of time set aside for questions, so please don't hold back. That feature could be really useful too if you had like an album of photos, if you'd done an event, or if you just added a bunch of new items to your shop.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's such a fun, I don't know, I feel like I'm a Canva fangirl. I'm always talking about it, but I've used it in so many different ways. I mean, I think I even, you could even, when I applied for this job, I think I created my resume in Canva. And there's just a lot of flexibility with that. So pretty much whatever you can come up with, there's usually a template or some kind of a feature that it can be done within Canva.
I think Diana unmuted. Diana, did you have something?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you. I thought it was very clear. I actually got it all and think I can do something with it. So
Great.
I'm saying goodbye. I love meetings that end early. I'll see you. Thanks.
Thank you for coming. Eliza, too, we had a couple more questions. Do you mind if I just read them out?
No, go ahead.
Flora followed up asking if we could show how to add multiple photos if you wanted to animate like a number of them.
Sure.
Then we had another question from Lauren that we can follow that with.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll just skip the upload part because I feel like we saw that. So let's pull in this picture that I think Kathy took. So let's say we want to animate both of these. So the word animate changed to fade because that's what I have set for this photo. So that's helpful to see. But if you want to make any adjustments. You just look for those little dots. So if I want to make this a little bit more obvious, I feel like it happened kind of fast. So let me do that. It's kind of old school PowerPoint. So we want to get, wow, that one's going really slow. So that one, it looks like it just, I don't know what that's doing. It's like flying around. Okay, so. Okay. All right, so they're both kind of doing their own thing, but if we preview, that's what it looks like. And then you can, if you're like, oh, that looks great, I don't even want to mess with it anymore, you can just download it straight from here. And again, it just suggests MP4, and then it'll download it as a video file. So both of those animations should work. But yeah, that's nice that you can have them animate in different ways, or you could just, I wonder if we select, it'll let us, no, sometimes it lets you select both and then you can animate both, or, do the same thing to both elements. I could do that. Or maybe it will. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So for that, I clicked and dragged my cursor to select both images, and then I hit animate, and then I was able to pick that pop for both of them, or you can do wipe, and it looks like they're kind of not going at the same time, but that's just because the images are in different positions on the page. So we'll move them. Cool. So hopefully that answered that question.
I don't know if you can see the comments, but Lauren, hi Lauren, asked about Canva Pro for nonprofits. Something that she doesn't appreciate is the business Facebook page has to be linked to her account. And so Lauren, I don't know if you want to unmute, or
yeah,
Eliza, thank you.
yeah, it has to be linked to my personal account. So I'm curious to know if Canva Pro will work if it's linked to my personal account.
It should. Yeah, Lauren, I had that same problem because I had this account already set up just for my personal use. And I don't use it for personal use anymore now that I have the nonprofit status, because it just felt,
Right.
right. So I have a different account set up with a different email address, but it doesn't seem to look at your email address. So like mine's elizabwarwick@gmail.com, and it let me do it as MD365. I just put it in when I signed up. I just put all that info in, and then it approved it. So
okay.
Yep.
You don't think it digs past the business account to your own, it just looks at the business account.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I wouldn't plan on using it for my own account, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's not I was worried about that too, but I was relieved when it still let me do it. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Another thing we wanted to add is that if you, any of you think of questions after the fact, feel free to reach out. We can meet one-on-one or try to tackle it via email, whatever is convenient to you. Sometimes it's hard during a presentation to either, express what you're contemplating, or if you get in there and start playing with it and run into questions, we're both happy to help anytime.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And with like Beth's question about animating those images was great, because I hadn't really played around with that too much, just beyond just doing the slides. So I like, I find that when questions are asked or different things come up, it's a way for me to learn more about the tool as well. So, and it's very forgiving. I forgot to mention that, but you might have seen this, when you're in it, there's a good old undo button. So there are times I've gotten in the weeds, I've been moving images around, and I'm just like, oh my God, this looks bad. And how did I have it before? And it auto saves because it's a browser-based tool, which is great, but auto saving doesn't mean that it's locking things you've done. So unless you download it, unless you take it out of Canva, you can always undo what you've been doing. So I can just keep hitting undo and it'll take stuff away, which is nice. So, and it's not showing it because it's taking away the animations, but yeah, so it's very forgiving if you mess up, I found.
And to one other thing I've found is that sometimes creating a design from scratch is a little daunting, knowing which elements to add and in what order. There's so many templates. If you don't want to, you rarely have to start from scratch. They have really, really fun across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I've taken templates and you wouldn't even know, like it looks unrecognizable from the original template just because I've played around with it so much, but it's just, it helps just giving that basic framework, for placing the image in relation to the text or multiple images together, or these, like, for instance, the design of the presentation had that purple splotch behind it. I didn't create that, Canva did, but the rest of it looked really different. I just kind of kept the purple splotch, and I changed the color of the swatch. It was like a darker purple and I made it lighter. And then I just completely changed the text and the images, but I kept the basic layout with the splotch behind it. So there's really a lot you can do with those templates.
Eliza,
Mhm.
Kathy here. Can you go through the various tools across the top there? It starts with home, file, resize, and what are all the others on there?
Sure. Yeah. So this up here, home will just take you back if you want to just go back to the dashboard where you started. And let me just go hit the back button, go back to our template. File is, similar to Word or, these other programs. So you can import things, you can create a new design that will open in a new tab. There's different, just a lot of just like the comments, find and replace. I haven't played with that, but you can do find and replace text. Again, very similar options as to Word. And then resize is something so if I'm in here, as I said earlier, if you pick the certain type of template you want to use, like in this case was Instagram, so it's 1080 by 1080. It's, if you have a free account, you can't adjust the size after the fact. You can go back and start a new file, or you can copy the elements into a new file. It's not the end of the world, but if you do want to adjust the size of the template once you've already started, you can only do that with the pro account. But again, that I've rarely had to do that. I don't find that to be prohibitive, but this is where you would do that. And another little workaround is that when you go to share it or download it and hit share. Oh, never mind. That is a pro account thing too. Don't listen to that. But yeah, so once you've committed to the size in a free account, that's how it stays, but it's certainly not the end of the world. There are ways to get around that. And then these are the undo and redo buttons that I was mentioning. And then this is just letting you know that the change, when there's a little checkbox, that just means it's been auto saved within the program. And then over here, this is where this is great because it usually just pulls this is the name of the file when you save it. So if you want to change that, it usually it'll pull like the template name, or it can pull, like the first, in this case, it pulled the first few words that I typed. So it's Happy National Margarita Day. You can change that to Margarita Day Instagram post. And then it will save that. This just it's just my account info. It just shows that I'm viewing it. But if I want to add someone, I can do that here. And this is where you'd have the link sharing restricted. It always defaults to that, which is kind of annoying, but because it's like, I'm going to share it. Why would I only want myself to access it? So you just click that and hit anyone with the link. And then that's where you can open that up to, if you want them to edit, if you want them to comment, if you just want them to view it. It says watch because, again, this is a video file because we have those moving elements, but usually it just says can view. And then you copy the link, and then you just can paste that into an email or a text or whatever, however you're communicating with your teammate. And then this is, okay, so this is, if I've never played with this, but this is if you're sharing it, then you can see how many people have engaged with it, but that I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I guess you could do, if you do go ahead and link your Canva account to your social media accounts, then you could see here how much it has been engaged with. But again, because I haven't really explored that, I can't speak to that personally, but it looks like that's where you would see that.
Liza, this is Molly. I think Canva also has a network of its own, sort of, where you can share internally with other Canva users. You can share your designs. I've never dabbled in it either, but I've seen the option pop up before, like you can share your design with other Canva creators.
Oh, okay.
But it's not anything I've ever used.
Gotcha. Good to know. And then this is where we did the little preview because it's a video file. And then there's the share button. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mhm. Anybody else?
Another cool option is down on the bottom right. It allows you to zoom in. So if you were doing a design with pretty small text or details that you wanted to really zoom in on and adjust in a more precise way, that's super helpful. And then Eliza mentioned she created her presentation in Canva today, and you can add notes. So if you were doing slides for presentation, you can have presenter notes that only you will see if you use presenter mode, which can be very helpful as well.
Yes. Yeah, they appear on the right, kind of, I think, similar to PowerPoint. Maybe PowerPoint's on the bottom, but yeah, like when I was in the slideshow earlier, I have what you're seeing up on my big screen, and then on my laptop screen, I had the presentation going, and then I could see my notes for things I wanted to make sure that I brought up on the right-hand side. So that was really helpful.
And then one more thing I find useful is up next to the upper right corner of her design, there's a little comment bubble. So if you do have teams set up, for instance, if Eliza and I are sharing a design back and forth, I can say, this is great, but I would move this image a little to the left, or I might change the color of this text, or whatever you want to share back and forth. So similar to Google Docs or similar, you can comment back and forth in that way.
Apparently you can add an emoji too.
It's definitely a collaborative friendly tool, which is fabulous, especially at the price point.
Yes, for sure.
Any other questions? We're happy to stay on, or like we said, we can catch up offline after the fact. We will let everybody go. But thank you all so much. And as Eliza said, we'll have more details going out in the next week or so, I'm hoping, about March and the accounting and bookkeeping. Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, social media anxiety is real. And then April, look forward to some info coming out about a happy hour, and just to celebrate you guys for participating and engaging with us, and also to wish you luck on the summer season. So feel free to follow up with us, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Eliza.
Thank you very much. It was great. Thanks.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Wendy.
thanks, Cindy.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.